The diner was packed, buzzing with the chatter of late-night customers and the clinking of cutlery. Among the crowd sat a sharply dressed man in his 50s, his presence commanding attention without him even speaking. The waitresses whispered about him, his tailored suit, the sleek car he had parked outside, and most of all, the massive diamond ring gleaming on his hand. Emily, a 22-year-old waitress, had been working double shifts just to keep up with bills for her sick mother. She noticed the ring the moment she set down his glass of water. It wasn't just expensive, it was familiar. Her heart skipped. That exact design, that rare stone, she had seen it before. Not in magazines, not in shops. On her mother's finger. Nervously, she leaned closer and said softly, "Hi, sir. My mother has a ring just like yours." The billionaire froze, his eyes snapping up to meet hers. For a moment, the bustling diner seemed to fall silent. His jaw tightened, his gaze sharpened, and he gripped the glass as though her words had cut deeper than she could imagine. The room's energy shifted. Emily had no idea that her casual remark had just unraveled a secret buried for decades, a truth powerful enough to shatter reputations, stir betrayal, and change both of their lives forever. Emily was no stranger to hard work. Since her father had abandoned the family when she was just a child, her mother had raised her alone. They lived paycheck to paycheck, with her mother selling old jewelry at pawn shops just to keep food on the table. But one thing her mother never sold was that strange, elegant ring. It wasn't flashy like something bought from a mall. It had history, character, and an engraving Emily could never forget. Forever. A.M.? Her mom used to say it was a gift from someone who once loved her more than life itself. Whenever Emily asked more, her mother would go quiet, eyes heavy with memory, and change the subject. Now here she was, staring at the same design, and except this one wasn't worn by her. Struggling mom in their tiny apartment. It sat proudly on the hand of a man who looked like he owned half the city. The diner staff whispered that he was Alexander Monroe, a billionaire real estate mogul. He was rarely seen in public without a chauffeur, and certainly not in a low-key diner like this. Some said he came here for nostalgia, that before becoming a billionaire, he once worked odd jobs around this very neighborhood. Emily, trying to stay professional, took his order, but she couldn't shake the thought. Why would her mother have the same ring as him? And why did he react so strongly when she mentioned it? When she returned with his steak, Alexander stopped her. His voice was low, deliberate. "Alexander, what did you say about your mother's ring?" Emily, It just looks exactly like yours, sir. Same cut, same shine. My mom never told me where she got it." His eyes narrowed. "What's your mother's name?" Emily hesitated. Claire Dawson." The fork slipped from his hand. The name hit him like a thunderbolt. His composed billionaire mask cracked for the first time, and his lips trembled as if the past had just walked into the room. For weeks, Emily noticed strange changes. Alexander returned to the diner almost every night, always asking for her section. He started leaving tips larger than her rent. The staff joked she had a secret admirer, but Emily knew better. This wasn't romance, it was obsession. Finally, she confronted him. "Why do you keep coming back here?"
What do you know about my mother?
Alexander's face hardened. "Because that ring, it was mine. I gave it to Claire 23 years ago." Emily's knees went weak. The world tilted. "What are you saying?" "I loved her," Alexander whispered. "More than anything. But I wasn't allowed to marry her. My family threatened to cut me off if I stayed with her. I had no choice but to leave. That ring was my promise, one I was too much of a coward to keep." Tears welled in Emily's eyes. Her entire life, she believed her father had been a nameless, selfish man who disappeared. Now, standing before her was the truth. Her father wasn't a ghost. He was a billionaire sitting in her section, wearing the twin to her mother's most prized possession. Alexander requested to meet Claire. Emily resisted, but eventually she gave in. When her mother arrived at the diner one evening, the reunion was explosive. Claire's face paled when she saw him. "After all these years, Alexander?" His voice broke. "Claire, I never stopped loving you." But Claire's pain had hardened into steel. "You left me pregnant and alone. Do you know what I went through raising our daughter? Do you know how many nights I cried myself to sleep while you built an empire?" Emily stood frozen, her world crumbling. "Wait, you're saying he's my father?" Alexander nodded, tears streaming. "Yes, Emily, I should have been there. I failed both of you." Claire's anger boiled. "You don't get to walk back into our lives because of guilt. But Alexander wasn't asking for forgiveness. He revealed documents, letters he had written but never sent, proof of the war his family had waged to keep him away. He offered Emily not just wealth but the truth of her identity. The climax shattered them all. Emily realized she wasn't just the daughter of a struggling single mom, she was heir to a billionaire legacy. But at what cost? Emily refused the money at first. She didn't want his empire. What she wanted was something money could never buy, time lost with her father. Slowly, painfully, Alexander began to earn her trust. He showed up to her mother's doctor appointments, funded her treatments without asking for credit, and spent real time with Emily. Claire remained guarded, but she saw the change in him. He wasn't the same scared boy who once abandoned her. He was a man fighting for redemption. Months later, Emily graduated college. As she walked across the stage, she saw her mother clapping with pride, and Alexander standing beside her, tears streaming finally where he should have been all along. The world eventually learned the truth about the billionaire's secret family. Some mocked him, others pitied him, but Emily didn't care. She had gone from serving tables to discovering she was worth more than gold, not because of money, but because she finally knew her true story. That day they all learned. Sometimes the smallest words, "My mother has a ring like yours," can unlock the biggest truths. What would you do if you discovered the man you were serving food to was actually your father?